very warm welcome. You're watching Beyond World is One with me, Diksha Bisla. Let's start with the headlines.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Donald Trump says Iran's key nuclear facilities have been obliterated in U.S. strikes. Says the objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment facility. Top Iranian officials claim that Fordo did not suffer any major damage due to American strikes. Iran state broadcaster claims the 3 nuclear sites along with their enriched uranium stockpiles were evacuated before the attacks.
Not continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days.
President Trump says there will be either peace or tragedy for Iran. Warns that if Tehran does not make peace, future attacks will be far greater. In first reaction after U.S. strikes on Iran, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that U.S. and President Trump acted with strength today.
News of the U.S.'s entree into this fight tonight weighing on many here in Southern California. Los Angeles is home to the largest Persian population outside of Iran. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo has reaction from that local community in Westwood.
In between bites of Bastani, opinions about the escalating attacks in Iran seem to roll off the tongue in Persian Square.
What the state did today is pro-Iranian people, but against the Ayatollah, which is great for us. We are very happy what happened today.
A number of people we spoke with are in favor of the U.S. bombing nuclear sites because they believe it hurts the government there and not the people.
I'm actually thankful about that to President Trump. But at the same time, we Iranian people inside of here, the states and outside, we were expecting a regime change. We were expecting United States and Israel help us to get rid of the this dictator regime.
Ruzbeh Farahanipour knows a little something about attempting to overthrow the Iranian Islamic government. He tried it 26 years ago.
Was a leader of the opposition groups inside Iran. I manage and organize the people on the street, 100,000 people on the street, to try to overthrow the regime. We didn't bomb the country. We didn't destroy the country. We didn't invade another country. We didn't violate international law.
He doesn't think the U.S. needs to be involved in a conflict between Iran and Israel.
I don't know why the U.S. should drag themselves in the war between 2 other countries and spend the taxpayers' money over there.
Others too question the need for U.S. involvement at all, even if Iran was close to nuclear capabilities.
It's just not justifiable just to go in and bomb whatever country you want to because they might have a weapon.
But mostly they're worried about family and friends there.
For the past 4 days, there's no internet. I couldn't even directly call my parents.
While also keeping an eye closer to home in Los Angeles and the largest Persian population in the U.S.
My main concern is my local community, Westwood. I love Westwood, LA. I try to make the LA and Westwood better place. But at the same time, my heart goes with the people other side of the globe.
We couldn't find anyone who was able to get in touch with family after the U.S. strikes, partially because of the internet issues there, and also because this attack happened essentially in the middle of the night over there. They're hoping, if anything, to get in touch tomorrow morning.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have some reactions coming in from the Israeli Prime Minister too, so we're just going to go and listen to Prime Minister Netanyahu right now.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
All right, very similar statements to President Trump. I'd like to go back to our guest, Gabriel Naroja. I was just talking to Susan about, the body language that President Trump had when he was making that statement. We'll come to the statement from Netanyahu, but of course, I wanted to also discuss this whole point with you. Trump is a president who said he doesn't want to look at war. And he's always been trying to solve the wars rather and say that I'm going to be able to solve these wars. And this sudden escalation, and we see from the body language of Trump, as said by our correspondent Susan, that he seemed that this somehow was the step had to be taken.
If you look at President Trump, the other thing he said is for the last 10 years, he said that he would never allow Iran to get a nuclear program or a nuclear weapon, And if you combine that, I think that is the statement which always has taken precedence, that he's always been willing and able to take strong action. And he doesn't believe that this has to result in a war. He believes that he has the upper hand. He believes that he can intimidate and attack and thwart any Iranian response, and that he's not going to send ground troops in. He's not going to get into a prolonged air campaign here. And he believes that he can wrap this up fairly shortly because Iran won't have another alternative except to surrender or back down.
All right. With that being said, we're also looking forward to what kind of reactions we can actually see from Iran, and can they actually come back to the table? Do you think this action would? Because we know that Trump, he has clearly said that if does not bring peace, they'll go for other targets. Can Iran and rather West Asia risk this kind of escalation?
I've just seen a statement from the Iranian Atomic Energy Organization. It's fairly, it's fairly perfunctory. They condemn the attack, but they don't really offer anything that is substantively in response. And that's because the Iranian government can't do all that much in response. As we were just talking about, they have a number of kinetic options that they can take. They have a number of missiles that they'll send. But in terms of their nuclear program, they've been outmatched. And it's going to take them quite a while before they'd be able to reconstitute anything. In terms of the diplomatic side, I don't think the Supreme Leader Khamenei is going to make any agreement. He has spent his entire career fighting the West, fighting the United States. For him, any negotiation at this point would be tantamount to both tactical surrender, but also ideological, maybe even blasphemy, because it would be abandoning the entire ideological project that he and his predecessor, the first Ayatollah Khamenei, erected when they set up the Islamic Republic of Iran. And so I think the issue is how the Iranian elite and how the other rank and file within the regime are going to respond. If they sense that they have a leader who's taking them down a path that will only lead to their destruction, I think you will start to see splits in the regime. You'll see discontent emerge publicly, and you'll start seeing the Iranian people themselves perhaps take to the streets. The last thing they want is a repeat of the 1980s war with Iraq, where the Iranian cities were bombarded for years and years. All Iranians, I think, want to avoid that situation. And so you're going to see ground-up opposition to this, and a strong desire to negotiate and reach a settlement with Israel.
All right. Well, of course, we'll have to wait and see how Iran reacts to see if this is a greater escalation or not. But thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel Naroja, for joining on the broadcast and giving your insights.
I want to bring in Pierre Thomas, our Chief Justice Correspondent, back stateside, covering the domestic threat. Of course, people watching us here on a Saturday night, Pierre, want to know what is Iran's capability, not only to react overseas throughout the region with thousands of U.S. military stationed across the region, but also here in the U.S. We know that there are lone wolves, there are actors that certainly Iran would hope would want to react in some sort of way to the U.S. action we've witnessed tonight. What are U.S. authorities here in the homeland prepared for potentially, and what have they said?
Well, David, one of the things they're most concerned about in the immediate future would be the potential for cyber attacks. Iran and its proxies have shown some capabilities to project from thousands of miles away. That's an immediate threat. DHS actually put out a notice just a couple of weeks ago after Israel started to attack Iran, warning the U.S. infrastructure, that's the electrical grid, energy sector, financial sector, to double check their computer systems to make sure that they have the proper defense mechanisms. So that's a concern. There's obviously always been concern about the ability of Iran, to project inside the United States. Do they have operatives here? The U.S. government has made a number of cases involving Iranian operatives in the United States attempting to impact dissidents here, that sort of thing. Also, there would be concern about just a general reaction to the notion of the U.S. government, the U.S. military, taking a military strike to the homeland of Iran. So officials here will be looking at that kind of thing as well, David.
Pierre Thomas with us on the potential threat here at home as well. And of course, you say, Pierre, that what authorities within the administration are most concerned about at this point, and at this point, we point out it's very early in this sort of new chapter we're in, potential window of time here where there could be any kind of reaction, retaliation from Iran or its proxies. Most concerned about a potential cyber attack, as Pierre said, though there could be other operatives that the U.S. is keeping its eye on as well.
في حالة تورط الأمريكي في الهجوم والعدوان على إيران مع العدو الإسرائيلي، فإن القوات المسلحة اليمنية سوف تستهدف سفنه وبوارجه في البحر الأحمر. إن اليمن العزيز بشعبه العظيم وقيادته المؤمنة وجيشه المجاهد سيقف إلى جانب أي بلد عربي أو إسلامي يتعرض للعدوان الصهيوني أو يقرر مواجهة هذا العدوان دفاعا عن نفسه أو دعما وإسنادا للمجاهدين في المقاومة الفلسطينية. لن نتخلى عن إخواننا في قطاع غزة، ولن نسمح لهذا الكيان المجرم المدعوم أمريكيا من تنفيذ مخططاته في المنطقة.